Hi, I'm Felicia Tomasko, and welcome to Glow. In this prenatal foam rolling class, we will be using a foam roller, a bolster for support, and the wall as a prop for a little bit of extra support. And the idea with this is it's kind of a playful way to just work with releasing some of the stuff that gets stuck in the tissues of the body. So go ahead and stand up. Stand up. Have the foam roller where you can easily reach it. A lot of foam rollers, you can stand on their side, and you can have it by the wall. So standing up, feet can be as wide as you want them to be, joints soft and easy. And just take a moment and scan down through your body. Observe how you feel in this moment. Especially because with foam rolling, we'll be doing a lot of movement, we'll be going through different positions, we'll be making up positions as we go. It's nice to take some time to simply check in before we dive into the practice itself. So you can keep your eyes open or closed. You can even touch the wall for support if you want to close your eyes. You can place your hands on your body. And take a few deep breaths, allowing the breath to facilitate your experience of cultivating attention and awareness. And then maintaining this attention and awareness and focus, go ahead and open your eyes and take the roller and place it on the ground. Using the wall for support, take one of your feet to the roller, and your other leg can be just kind of bent and for support. And we're just going to roll along the surface of the foot. So from the toes through the ball of the foot to the heel, and you can lift up your foot as you move it through the different range of motion, through one end of the roller to the other. And this may feel pretty subtle, or you may feel like there's a lot going on the sole of your foot, more so than you realized. Especially because during pregnancy, we may be holding weight differently, carrying weight differently. Our feet really feel a lot of that. And just one more like this. And then bring the foot to the front of the bolster and just rotate the ankle a little bit. So you're still, or the front of the foam roller. So you're still using that roller just a little bit. And then roll in the other direction. And then release, shake out the foot. So you're using the wall for support. So you can just shake out the foot, the ankle, feel that movement, that suppleness, and then take the foot down. Place your other foot onto the bolster or the roller. This is a roller. So place the other foot onto the roller and then go forward and back. So you're bending the knee. You're using the roller to gently massage the tissue in the bottom of the foot, the sole of the foot. The other leg is supportive yet slightly bent. And then take the foot to the forward part of the roller. And this is where it's also using the wall for support is helpful because rollers tend to roll. And just rotate the ankle in circles a little bit. And then rotate in the other direction. And then go ahead and using the wall for support, shake out the ankle, the leg, the foot, and release. And then take the roller slightly behind you. So that may mean you step in front of it and over it. You're going to take one of your feet and place the top of your foot on the foam roller. So your knee is bent, the top of the foot is on the foam roller, holding the wall for support, and simply roll again, front to back, bending the knee, and creating this rolling action along the top of the foot. So you're feeling a gentle rolling, a gentle massaging along the skin, the tissue on the top of the foot, feeling the joints move through their natural range of motion. And this also creates a nice action through the hip and the leg. And one more like this. And then switch. So we're going to step in front of the foam roller with the foot that you just rolled, and then step the other foot slightly back. Take the top of the foot to the foam roller and just simply roll forward and back. Now the thing about foam rollers is that sometimes they might just kind of slide away from you and you just have to gently return them back. It's one of the reasons why it's nice to do this on a sticky mat, is because then you have the mat for support. We're just rolling the leg front to back, using the foam roller to roll the top of the foot. And one more. And then step forward and release. Widen your feet so they're a little wider than your hips. And just notice the experience of standing on your feet in this moment and see if it feels any differently than before you started. And we're going to come down to sitting. And this is where you can continue to have the wall nearby for support. You'll start out sitting on the mat, although we may end up kind of rolling off of the mat a little bit. And this is where it's nice to have a bolster or a pillow, a blanket, or some kind of support just for the body. We're going to continue this work that we did foam rolling with the feet and go up the legs. So our focus will be the legs because we hold so much here. So start out, it doesn't really matter which leg you start with, just pick one. And take the foam roller and place it underneath the heel, the ankle, and even the foot. So we did the foot standing, but we'll do the foot again. So the foot standing, we have the body weight, where the foot here, we have a little bit more freedom and just a little bit of a different action. So we'll roll through the sole of the foot up to the toes, through the sole of the foot to the heel, and we'll bend that opposite, or we'll bend that knee to help facilitate this movement. You can use the bolster to lean on if you need a little bit of support. You can place it underneath your belly or your side. And just feel this rolling action. You may find that you take a few deep breaths or a little bit of a sigh. You may notice patterns of tension or anything in the body. So just pay attention to whatever it is that you feel. And then start to bring the foam roller a little bit more to this heel and ankle area. And you're going to roll from the heel to just above the ankle. So we're getting this area of the Achilles. And then you can even go side to side here. So what that means is you're taking the toes toward the foam roller, and then the toes lift toward the ceiling, and then roll toward the foam roller on the other side. And this cross fiber action It can also be really good for the tissues and for the musculature. And then we're going to start to roll a little bit further up the lower leg. So we're starting to roll into the calf area. And you can angle yourself so you get that inner part of the calf going from the ankle toward the knee on the inside. And it's often nice when foam rolling to do a little bit of repetition, to roll out and to roll in and to get the same area a few times from slightly different angles. And then you want to get the center part of the calf muscle, kind of that area behind the knee. The gastrocnemius and the soleus are the muscles of the calf, the different layers here. And it's okay, again, you may find that the foam roller has a little bit of its own agenda and goes wandering, and you can just kind of pick it up and move it. And it's okay too to lean forward or to lean back, to use the wall for support. You can even lean against the wall a little bit. And then start to get that outer part of the leg, the outer part of the lower leg. Bending the knee and straightening the leg, using the movement of the leg to support this rolling action. So with your other leg, the leg that you're not foam rolling, you can do anything. So right now I'm bending my knee and having the sole of the foot on the ground. You could have it outstretched, you can have it behind you, you can have it over a bolster. And you can switch. You know, as we do this practice, you can switch from one shape to another shape, from one pose to another pose. And that can often be really helpful to just settle into the spots in the leg that need this little bit of love, this rolling action, this place of working with the fascia or the connective tissue. Now that you feel like you've been working this lower part of the leg, we're going to take the foam roller a little bit higher. And this may mean just shifting your position with the opposite leg, the one we're not rolling right now. It may mean shifting the position with the bolster or the support that you're using. Because you'll take the foam roller into the back of the thigh, so the area of the hamstring muscles. And we'll start with the lower area. And you may find that you lift your hips a little bit. Again, your opposite leg can just be support. And just start to roll up and down the leg. So toward the knee, toward the hip. You may find that you pause in one spot or another. Maybe you find a little bit of a tight spot that asks of you to just kind of hang out for a breath or two. Remember to use the support that's available to you in all areas. You can roll forward and back. Maybe you roll a little closer to the pelvis or a little further away. Use your hands for support. Take a break as you need to. And then from here, we'll start to roll into the area of the inner thigh. So in this, you might want to shift the position of your supportive leg. You can use the bolster to lean on or to actually lean into. You can lean forward and start to roll from the knee to the pelvis in the area of the inner thigh. And you don't have to go all the way up to the pelvis. This can be a small movement or a large movement. You can pause in areas where you need a little bit of a pause. And you may find that you start taking a few more deep breaths. And we'll just do one more roll here. Remember, you can always experiment or come back to places. Then we're going to take and work on this outer hip area. So you'll just shift your body so that you can take the foam roller to the outer thigh, so the IT band area. You can continue to use your bolster for support, and you can roll the outer hip from the iliac crest or a little bit lower, just kind of that top part of the thigh, to the area around the knee or above the knee. Make sure to move slowly, to pay attention to your body. And you don't have to do this a lot. You can just do one or two, and you can always come back and do more. And then come off of the roller, and we'll set up for the other side, the other leg. So this is something where you move around a lot, but you can stay still. As you practice this on your own, you can stay longer in some areas and shorter in others. So other leg, just start out with the foam roller under your foot. And you're just rolling the sole of the foot from the ankle to the toes, getting the action going in both directions. And as the roller slides, which the roller will do, I promise you, you just move it around with you. And we're going to keep rolling up. So from here, we go from the heels up the ankle. Remembering to use the bolster for support as you need to, which becomes more and more so the more we go up the leg. And then your opposite leg can be in any position that supports you. And then start to go side to side. The side-to-side action can also be a nice thing to do for the hip joint. So the toes in and the toes out. The toes rotate in, so we get this internal rotation of the hip. The toes rotate out, which is an outward rotation of the hip. And then we'll keep going up the leg, the center of the calf muscles, which remember there's groups of muscles here, layers of muscles. So the soleus and the gastrocnemius. So we're going forward and back from the lower part of the leg to behind the knee. Maybe not all the way up to the knee, but just below it, but in that direction. And then we'll go side to side a little bit so we get that outer part of the calf and the lower leg. And then the inner part of the calf and the lower leg. Bending the knees, straightening the leg. Then we'll take the foam roller up a little bit higher. So this is the part where we start to get the hamstring muscles. And we start to just use the shape of the body in different ways to support this movement. So you might roll up and down. You might lift your hips. You can sit your hips on the bolster. You can use the bolster for support under your hands or under your belly. You can bring your hands forward. You can have the mat underneath your opposite knee. And then you rotate the body to get the inner thigh, or some aspect, some area of the inner thigh. So we're just rolling, slightly angling the body to get the inner thigh. And just repeating this movement, repeating this action. Experimenting. This is one of those things where as you practice this, you just experiment. And you just play around with the different shapes. Play around with the use of the wall, the bolster, the block for support. And then lifting the hips actually up on to the foam roller so we can get that outer part of the thigh, the IT band. This area of rolling a few times. Sometimes this can be some of the most intense areas that we access through this practice. You can always keep going with your own foam rolling practice. You can slow down. This was a set of ideas that gives you something to work with. But go ahead and for now, just come off the bolster, find a comfortable seat, and just observe the feeling. And play around with this practice any time that you want to feel a sense of release. And while you do it, just keep checking in. Just keep checking in. Namaste.